Well, today I'm going to be converting this old bucket here from my wheel loader into skid steer quick attach. This old bucket here is originally the pin-on style like this, and it's definitely going to be nice to have it set up on quick attach. So this is going to be easy conversion for this bucket, thanks to Yeti Motor for sending me this quick attach plate. This is a weld-on plate to put on any attachment you want to convert. It's terribly thick, heavy, and it was a perfect fit here on my machine. It just dropped right on, no modifications, nothing at all. The plate's terribly heavy, really thick, and actually worked out really well for what I'm needing. And for the bit of surface rust here on the plate, it is not painted. It does not come painted because you got to weld it on anyway. And I went and left it out in the rain here on my loader last night, so that's where the surface rust came from. But it's not a worry, it ain't going to hurt anything. So I'm going to go ahead, start taking measurements, and we'll get this attached to the bucket. Okay, got my machine sitting here on halfway level ground with the bucket here in front. This will probably be a lot easier for everybody else installing this quick attach plate, because the transmission has gone out of my loader and I can't move it unless I push it around with that little tractor. So it's making this a lot harder than what it needs to be. So I decided to go with a different idea than what I originally had. I was going to do like what you should do and remove the old mounts on the back of your bucket, either with a grinder or a torch, and then you'd have a nice smooth flat surface to weld on the new plate. However, this old bucket has probably moved a million pounds of fertilizer, and it is not in good shape. The back of it, I don't know if you can tell here in camera, the back of it is all bent out, and I can see it a little bit better from the inside. And so with the back of it being bent out, it's not going to be a flat surface to weld this plate to, and I'm going to have all these gaps, and it's going to be very difficult to get it actually straight and on there properly like it should be. So I believe I'm just going to go ahead and leave my mounts on and then just weld this plate to the original mounts. The reason why you may not want to do this on your bucket is because it is going to space the plate out a few inches from the back of the bucket, making the machine a little longer. So however far away your bucket or whatever you have on here is, then the more leverage you're going to have and going to add more stress onto your machine. So I have nothing really lined up. I just kind of eyeballed it and got it close. I'm going to go ahead and roll the bucket cylinders forward and get it halfway straight. I'm going to get a tape measure and start measuring out. Make sure the bucket is square and make sure it is seen level to the machine on the ground. And I believe we can go ahead and start welding it in place. Well, I got the bucket all squared up right here, and I mainly just measured from my mount here to the edge of the plate. And you want to just make sure that this measurement is the same on both sides, measuring from the same points, to make sure the bucket is centered on your plate. And then also to make sure your bucket isn't crooked. I measured from here. You want to make sure you do not measure on top of this weld, but measure on top of that plate there. And then I measured up to this point right here in the bucket. You could also measure up to the top of the bucket or whatever is easiest on your machine in your attachment. This is what works well here for this, and I went ahead and put this chain in right here, and that just is holding a little bit of tension back on the bucket to keep it held tight against the plate. I'm going to go ahead, get the welder going, and get this tacked into place. Well, I got that welded on here. decent enough so it should all hold in place. And just got welded on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and vase up the loader and let the bucket settle down to what it needs to be, and then go ahead and get the rest of it welded. If you do mount this plate in this way and raise up the loader, be cautious not to get anywhere near the bucket or underneath it or anything in case your welds would break. In case something comes loose, you do not want to be underneath it. So be sure to keep that in mind. Well, now that the loader's raised up here, it now has closed up. I don't know if the camera will focus into here. Now has closed up the gap between the plate and my mounts right here. Before, there's a little bit of a gap there. So it's the way of the bucket, it brings it down and sets it right where it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and continue welding.
2 hours later.
Well, I got both sides here welded on, and I don't know if you see the weld now. I kind of hope you can't see the weld because it is not a nice looking weld. Anyone knows me knows I cannot weld veins that are vertical. But here later on, I'll take this bucket off, lay it on side, and I'll do a proper job of getting it all welded up really solid. But for right now, it's going to hold just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and release the bucket, get it taken off, and put it back on, and see how that works. Well, that seems to detach and reattach really easy, and that seems really smooth. It's a lot smoother than the one that I built for my pallet forks. So if you're needing a quick attach plate to convert a attachment, I highly recommend this one here. Seems really heavy, and I don't think it's really gonna bend or break here anytime soon. One more thing I want to say here is that if you are not overly confident in your welding skills, I highly recommend you take this to a professional weld shop to do a proper job welding. This isn't really something you want to weld halfway and have it break. It can be quite dangerous and get someone injured or even killed. All the links to this quick attach plate are down below in the description and in the comments. I'll tag a comment on top. Another big thanks to Yeta Motors for sending this to me. It's really going to come in handy once I have a transmission in my loader so I can actually do a proper test on it. But that's going to be another video series here that I really don't want to do, but am going to have to do. So if you're interested on what this loader's like to tear apart and split in two, then be sure to subscribe for more videos. Don't forget to like and comment down below. I appreciate you watching.